Hi, my name is Hadel-Lynn. If you're watching this, you probably just recently finished your last final in your bedroom, maybe like at a 7 or 8 or whatever time it is at night, top thinking, well, is that it? I have a message for you. Congratulations, you did it! You just did the impossible of literally graduating in the middle of a pandemic while still pursuing your educational goals. As a member of the first class of COVID, aka class of 2020, I can share with you the same sentiment of the awkward feeling of graduating in the middle of a pandemic. From one class of COVID to another, I want to impart with you the 7 things that I've learned in my post-grad journey. I hope that the class of 2020 and the class of 2021 are the last classes of COVID. So with that, let's get started. Tip number 7. The job hunt is extremely tough, especially after you just graduated. I graduated June 2020, and I actually started applying for positions in March of 2020, and I didn't actually start like my first full-time position until October 2020. I saw on LinkedIn a lot of my friends who got jobs and it can be really disheartening seeing all of your friends succeed and you're happy for them, but you want that same success as well. From one recent college grad to another, I just want to say that things take time. I guess the easiest thing I could say is just be as patient as possible. It really is like a matter of luck to where, you send out all those apps, the cover letters, resumes, etc., and you just have to hope that you are what they want. So I can't really give any further advice than that, other than just start applying early and hope for the best. Number 6, don't be afraid to take a job outside of your scope of experience. Fun fact about me, I actually graduated from University of California, San Diego with my bachelor's in, drumroll please, earth sciences. I know that is completely unheard of for many Filipino Americans to study earth sciences, but that's what I did at UC San Diego. And my current job right now is actually working in the legal industry towards healthcare. So 2 completely polar opposite positions, and opposite degree, opposite position. So don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone. I took this position because I wanted to see if the legal industry was for me or if the healthcare, I'm still figuring it out, but I was pretty open to moving out literally from California to try something super brand new, and I think it's actually worked out for me. I hope it works out for you. Don't be afraid to do something completely different if you're interested in it, because you'll never know, what you like until you try. Number 5, appreciate your family and friends. It wasn't until I moved out for my first job out here in Boston that I really understood the importance of valuing your friends and family and the importance of maintaining those close relationships even when you kind of go away. Past year, we have spent it very physically isolated from one another due to COVID, and so even more, you should really make sure to check in on your loved ones, because really different compared to when you were a student versus like when you are working full time. You may not have as much time for them, but you should always try, no matter what, to make them a priority. Pay more attention to the core group of people in your life, because people come and go, but the core people in your life are the ones that, will stay with you no matter what, and their opinions, their life experiences, etc., are important to you. So you should show your appreciation to them as much as possible. Number 4, do the things you've always wanted to do. When I was in school, I would always try to push off whatever passions I had just because, I was focused on getting good grades, internships, jobs, etc. But now I can finally have the time to do the things I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to create a YouTube channel. I just never really had the guts to start until now, just because of COVID boredom. I've been able to get back into reading, journaling, etc., other hobbies that I have. And so just now that you have the time away from school that you don't have to worry about anymore, now you can use that time to be productive in the things that you personally want to do. Now for tip number 3, which is to keep your mental health in check. Nobody really talks about this as often as they should, but I will say that the post-graduation blues, as people try to call it, can be pretty real. You no longer are there with your friends or have that safe space of community that you had when you were in university. You are now being forced to kind of plunge into adulthood right away. And with that, with COVID raging on, you don't really know what's going on in people's lives. Many people have, lost family members, have lost loved ones. Situations, whether financial or emotional or anything like that, have changed throughout the years. Even though there's at least now a little bit more hope with the vaccine and everything, and levels decreasing, the motivation is still kind of low. I for sure want to stress talking with a professional if you are feeling, certain things like depression, anxiety, stuff like that. Just because it doesn't matter what age, what race, what ethnicity, what background you pretty much come from. Mental health is still a very important thing. It's still kind of like a taboo thing in our society, but it is something that needs to be addressed more. And even more so since you are graduating into a pretty much unknown market. And you have so much uncertainty going on, and obviously I don't know your life. Now, the good thing with COVID is that there has been more accessibility to mental health resources. Apps like BetterHelp. This is not an ad for it, by the way. There are now, you can Zoom call with therapists. If you're not feeling fully like yourself, just emotionally, I would 100% stress to make sure to talk with someone who is a licensed professional to things when you are ready. Tip number 2, it's okay to not know anything on what you are doing with your life. Do you want to know the secret to success in adulthood? Come here. Yeah, come here. Nobody knows what they're doing. We are all faking it till we make it. I graduated high school at the age of 17 years old. I graduated college at the age of 21 years old. I followed the pipeline of, after high school, you go straight to college. You're supposed to have a good job, yada, yada, yada. But nobody tells you that it's okay to have no idea what you are doing, and you don't need to follow that pipeline in order to be successful. Let me break this down to you in a very logical perspective. At the age of 17, 18 years old, when you graduate high school, say you live to be 100 years old, you haven't even lived 20% of your life. So how can you make, a 100% for sure decision on your life when you haven't even lived at least half of your life yet? Having a fantasy about your dream career is really different from when you actually go into practice for it. And that's completely fine. People change their minds all of the time on what they want to do. And that's perfectly okay. There's no rule book on how exactly to go from A to B of success, because everyone has a different definition of success. It's okay to not really know what you're doing, just trying out new things, and over time, I'm sure you will figure it out. And last but not least, tip number 1. If you haven't already, please get vaccinated. Everyone in the US should be eligible as of now to get vaccinated. So please, I urge you to really consider getting vaccinated if you haven't already. With me being class of 2020 and this year being class of 2021, in order for you to make sure that class of 2022 and future classes do not have to go through the same experience that we have together, I really urge you to go ahead and get vaccinated. I actually took Pfizer about a couple months ago, a month ago or something like that. Check out my playlist on my channel. I go day by day, week by week, dose by dose even, about my experience with Pfizer, just because I understand there's a lot of hesitation taking the vaccine, so I wanted to be as transparent as possible about my experience so that more people would be interested in getting vaccinated. I hoped these tips were helpful for you. These are just a few of experiences that I just wanted to share from one class of COVID to another. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.